I don't know, to tell you the truth. Luke had me going around asking me to do a lot of crazy things. And the way I got it was that Cassadines and Edward Quartermaine were the bad guys. Scorpio, Luke, and Laura, they're the good guys, you know?
Oh, you're talking nonsense.
I know I'm talking nonsense, but wait a minute. What I think is the good guys went after the bad guys to get what they wanted. That's what I think.
Oh. You're talking about my daughter. My daughter, let's not forget here, who is out at sea somewhere with some very vicious people who have people killed. And you're talking about good guys and bad guys as if we're playing cowboys and Indians.
Lesley, I don't think we're getting anywhere doing this. We're going to the police. Come on.
Wait a second. I can't go along with you there. I don't dance like with cops. I don't
Slick, please, we need your help.
Please, Slick.
Look, I'd like to help you. I like you guys, you know? And I kind of love Luke and Laura. Never had my own kids there, so I don't know. Now you got me all soppy and nutty. Okay, I'll go with you guys. Let's get out of here, okay?
Oh, I knew you'd do it. I knew that you're a pussycat inside and not as rough as you seem.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Come on in. Before you start on me, I know exactly why you're here. Well, if you know, Bert, why don't you tell us? It is true. I did put Heather through a police lineup. And if that bothers you as much as it did you,
Bert, I don't care about Heather. That's fine. You have my blessings. That's not why we're here.
Well, it isn't.
Laura's missing.
She is. I'm sorry.
Along with Luke Spencer and a man named Robert Scorpio.
She was involved with a woman who was killed down on the docks, the lady who died at my clinic.
And her name is O'Reilly.
Oh, yes, I know about that.
Well, I would think so. You're head of homicide.
A man was also murdered, Clay Thomas.
Yeah.
What do you know about those murders?
Well, nothing.
How can you know nothing? You're the head of homicide.
Well, it was taken out of my hands.
What do you mean it was taken out of your hands?
The police commissioner called me personally and told me that as far as those murders go, to use his words, they're taken care of.
What do you mean taken care of?
Everything. Identification, autopsies, the whole investigation, everything.
So the higher-ups came in and they took it right out of your hands.
Exactly.
Any idea why?
Well, it's something very important. It may even involve the federal government.
But isn't there anything that you can do? This is Laura, my Laura, who's missing.
Look, she and Luke, Laura and Luke, were tied up with this Cassadines guy, too, you know?
Now, there's another name I've heard. Well, who is Scorpio?
Scorpio is an okay guy, believe me. Now, he looked like he wasn't. He looked like he was going to be a black cat, but he turned out okay.
Yeah, well, who is he?
I don't really know who he is, but he was partners with that lady, with O'Reilly, you know, cute little lady with them cute little sneakers. Yeah, and then they all disappeared.
I think it's very easy to assume that the disappearance of Laura is connected with the same people who took out O'Reilly.
And you say it's taken care of.
Lesley, I understand your concern, and I promise you now I will try to get to the bottom of it. Though I must say, when the commissioner took it out of my hands, I was happy because I felt I had enough to do following up on other cases. Now, come on.
Bert, look, our daughter is involved here. Not some stranger, but our daughter.
Rick, I understand that. That's why now it becomes personal for me. And I promise you that I will talk to the commissioner right away, and I will call you as soon as I have found out anything. That's the best I can do. Now, come on, I do have a lot to do. Please?
Oh, Jessie, have you heard?
I heard what? Why you look so unhappy?
Well, now that Rick has moved Hutch up to the 7th floor, there are 2 guards who take turns in front of Hutch's door.
Well, they have to guard those men.
I know. Well, now, Dan doesn't approve of the guards, and Steve goes right along with it. Dan wants Toby to be released right away and Hutch to be released from the hospital just as soon as possible.
Well, you can't really blame Steve and Dan. I think the trouble is that once a man becomes a patient, you stop thinking of him as a criminal and you begin caring about him as a person.
Oh, yes, that is true.
Well, I think you're forgetting something. Hutch might seem like a nice guy, and even though he seems like a nice guy, you have to remember, he used to be a hitman for the mob.
You know, Amy's right.
Darn right, and he almost killed my sister. And now everybody is running around this joint saying what a nice guy he is, and I really don't know about that. You know, we're talking about convicted criminals here. And because this Hutch is so charming and so good-looking, everybody likes him.
Well, I guess no one can prevent, really, a prisoner from going back to prison.
Well, I don't think you need to be so soft-hearted about it.
Steve hasn't said one word to me, really, since last night. I hate to be at odds with him.
Well, I can understand
But
that.
as a nurse, Jessie, I hate the idea of these 2 men going back to prison and facing a possible attempt on their lives. I want to be sure that they are really well before they leave here.
Oh, I think we both know they will be.
Well, Dan is being very strict about it.
Oh, Lesley.
Yeah.
What do you hear about Laura? Anything?
Hi, everybody.
Nothing yet.
Anyone seen Bobby?
She's in the cafeteria.
Oh, good.
Aren't you the guy Bobby was looking for?
Me? I don't know. Why?
Yeah, she wanted to know where her brother was. She seemed to think you had the answer.
Pal, if I had the answer to that one, nobody'd be asking anybody anything. We'd all know everything.
No, Slick is working with us now. He's helping us. Would you tell Bobby we'll be downstairs right away?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Leslie, what's all this about? Well, the woman who was killed down in the docks, whose name, by the way, is O'Reilly, turns out to have been a friend of Laura's.
She was?
Yeah.
I didn't know Laura really knew her.
Yeah.
Luke and Laura were helping Robert Scorpio.
Yeah, well, see, him and Riley, yeah, they were partners.
From what we understand, Scorpio was working with both of them.
Both the man and the woman who were killed?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Well, why was Laura involved?
Well, Laura was involved, but she was with the good guys, you know what I mean? She was with Scorpio and Luke, the white hats, you know?
Slick, you're going to have to tell me all about this.
Amy, your shift is over. Why don't you go home?
I don't want to go home. I want to hear about this.
Rick, I think we have to go to the cafeteria
Yeah,
now.
I think we should. Slick? Where'd he go?
He's gone.
Slick?
We heard Slick was with you.
Oh, yes, he was with us.
Well,
Just disappeared.
what? Disappeared. Poof. One minute he was there, the next minute he was not, and nobody saw him go.
Oh, well, that's good for you.
What's this all about?
Well, I think it's very safe to assume that Luke and Laura are on Cassadine's yacht.
And the yacht has sailed. It is gone.
Show him the letter Laura gave you.
Oh, yeah, this is why we were looking. Can you read this?
But we know that O'Reilly died at your clinic.
Well, there's something about that you may not know.
What?
Well, Slick says that O'Reilly and Scorpio were working together, and the man who was killed, Clay, he was also working with.
What's it all about?
Well, it all seems to center on Tony Castle, whose real name is Cassadine, a man Laura came here specifically 3 days ago to warn you to stay away from.
Well, according to this letter, Laura didn't have any intention of going on his boat. Surely she wouldn't if she knew there was trouble.
But I think they're both on that ship, and if they are, then everybody's in for trouble.
What about the police?
We talked to Ramsey. Ramsey's now trying to find out why the cover-up.
So this whole thing was covered up?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yeah?
Excuse me, but Captain Ramsey's on the phone for you.
Oh, thank you. Maybe now we get some answers.
Let's hope so.
Rick, do you have proof that this is being covered up?
Bobby, they're investigating both murders right now.
The two that Slick said were working for Scorpio.
Yeah, that's right. Ramsey was told by the commissioner that it's hands off this case, that everything is being taken care of.
Ramsey's in charge of homicide.
Yeah, well,
Why would they tell him to stay out of it?
I don't know. I really don't know. He's trying to see if there's anything he can do and as to why they caused the cover-up. What'd you find out?
What did Captain Ramsey say?
The answer is forget it.
What do you mean, forget it?
The commissioner told Bert that there is absolutely nothing he is to do or say.
What?
Oh, it's just like those murders never even happened.
Like hell it didn't happen.
It's pretty crazy.
I don't understand.
I understand one thing. I'm not going to put up with it.
What are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm going to find Slick. I think he knows a lot more than he's been telling us. I mean, there's got to be some reason why the cops in this town can't handle those two murders, why they're too big for the police. I'm not going to let the police commissioner whitewash everything and tie his hands. Let's go.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, you two should beat.
Well, we have been looking all over for Slick Jones. I think every cab in the city looks identical right now.
And it was exhausting.
I don't know, and Bobby trying to find him, too.
Slick will turn up.
Well, he's got to. He's the only key we have to understanding where Laura went.
Is Amy home?
Yeah, she's upstairs in her room studying. Listen, I'll make you two a nice cup of tea.
Alice, just a second. You look upset. Something bothering you? Something happened?
It's just that a friend of Susan stopped by today, and I didn't tell him anymore except that she'd left town. I mean, seeing as how she's going to have a baby and all, I thought it was best to leave it at that.
What happened with Susan? Did it all just fall apart with her man?
I don't know. I don't know if she's gone to be with Arnold or not. All I know is that she said she would be back.
Alice, I think you've had enough troubles with Heather and now with Susan. I think I better go in and make the tea. You just stay right here.
Dr. Webber, please. Now, it's very good for me to be busy. When I am busy, I cannot think about my troubles. Now, you stay here. You get some rest. I will make the tea.
All right. Thanks.
You know, this could all be a whole lot bigger than we realize.
was just wondering about what Georgia said.
What? What do you mean?
Well, the other night at the clinic when the woman died, she said Robert Scorpio got on the phone. All he said was some numbers.
Yeah.
Code, whatever it was. Lesley, I think Robert Scorpio is some kind of agent.
What kind of agent? Working for who?
Well, I don't know that. I think Slick might know, and we got to get it out of him one way or another.
Yeah, well, Slick will turn up at Kelly's sooner or later, and Rose will call us.
Well, they have to, because I think Slick is the only shot we got.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Laura, what have you gotten yourself into now?